The tsunami when the wave hit. Don't be careful with this behavior. Then I'm a boss. Don't be careless with this behavior. Alright, here we go. I was surfing the tsunami when the wave hit. All right, peace, love, health, and well vibe tribe. Like and subscribe. Help your boy break away from that 9 to 5. My name is not important, but what is the fact that I'm coming to you on behalf of Sacred Self Healing Center, where you guessed it, the heart is the center for healing. Understand that when you come here, this is spa day for the soul. Chicken noodle soup for the spirit. And Manny and Petty day for the ego. Understand that when you come here, this is a hard hat area. And self development is the construction site. So, with that being said, if you would like to inquire about any of my services, including but not limited to what you see in the description box, you can hit me up for a free consultation, and we can figure out if we are a good fit for each other. All right, so we made it through another business week. Thank God it's Friday, right? For most of us, it was payday, not me, unfortunately. For some of us, it's the beginning of the weekend. We might have a day or two off unless we got to do some double OT. So I just came to get some weekend vibe messages, maybe something to focus on, or maybe something somebody could be, out there. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it could be some love. Maybe we can get a message for money. If you would like to be added to the list after the collective reading, only thing you got to do is give me a I am affirmation or type supersede in the chat. Okay. For donation based readings, only thing you got to do is check out the description box. All the information you need is right there. All right. So the first card that we got here, um, in the weekend collective reading is going to be the High Priestess. All right. Then the second card that we're going to have here is going to be the Magician. And the third card that we have here is going to be the Seven of Wands. Okay, double tap that screen, hit the like button, y'all. Let's go ahead and get this thing going. So starting off with the High Priestess. The High Priestess is the third card of the major arcana, but it represents the number two energy, duality, balance. Um and really the balance between the seen and the unseen world. Um one reason why I really like this card is because one reason why I really like this High Priestess card is because hidden in the card symbolism is a certain level of mastery that that is needed in the world, especially when you're dealing with the spiritual side of things. So short, sweet, and simple. the high priestess comes in leading the reading with the energy of intuitions and or hidden secrets. Sometimes the high priestess card could be an indication that we could be studying something new. All right. But really, sometimes it comes out as, read between the lines type card. Okay. So the second card that we have here in our weekend reading is going to be the Magician card. Now, the Magician card is also a major arcana card, and the Magician card carries the energy of being able to manifest. If you're familiar with the symbolism here in this card, the symbolism here represents the fact that we have studied. I can't even say study because now that I think about it, the magician card is before the high priestess, but it's really practical. All right, so I'll say this. So my shoulder hurt. So this magician card, okay. So the magician card is here, and hold on one second. Let me see something because all right. So I wonder what's up with the night bot. All right, I see I got one like. I'm sorry, y'all. The chat just froze. I'm used to the chat roll. I'm just making sure everything cool. All right, so we got the High Priestess card, which represents intuitions and secret. Intuition and secret. The Magician card carries the energy of being able to manifest. All right. And so the third card we got here is the Seven of Wands. Now the Seven of Wands is a card that represents a situation or a circumstance where a person is having to defend their wants versus the people, places, and things in their environment. The seven represents mastery, but it also carries the energy of challenge, right? Kimmy brushed me up on that one. And again, when you're dealing with the wands, you're dealing with your personal desires. It's the I want of a person, right? So whenever you see wands in the tarot reading, there's always I want. So the combination, I don't know. We got male female duality here. I'm not really picking up on relationship situation. It could be something for some, right? We could look at this as male female, or we could be looking at this as the roles people playing. But overall, what I'm seeing here, the energy for this weekend is more or less going to be a self-focused type energy. And the reason why I say that is because when you're dealing with the high priestess, again, the high priestess deals with that third eye. It deals with knowledge, it deals with forward thinking, it deals with visionary energy, stuff like that. And the magician is there to bring those things to reality, whatever we do want or foresee for ourselves in the future. The magician is there. Now that I'm thinking about these cards out of order, I'm really wondering why for so in the Rider Waite tarot deck, right? Whenever you looking at the high priestess got an ancient scroll, and the ancient scroll carries secret or hidden knowledge, ancient knowledge, right? How to tap in the spirit, what is spirit, where spirit is, all that good stuff, right? But in the tarot deck, the magician card comes before the high priestess. Now, remember, the magician card carries the ability to manifest, right? Whereas, remember, the major arcana is a spiritual journey, or it can be a life journey, whatever. But in general, the fool is a person who comes into knowledge of self. That's why he's the fool. and because it's like a new awakening, and among the journey of knowledge itself, you go through the different steps. You get the magician card, the high priestess, the empress, the emperor, the hierophant, the lover's card, the chariot, strength card, hermit, etc., etc., etc. And really, it will really benefit us not to look at these cards as just gender only, but as archetypical energies. And then once we get past the archetypical energies, then we can look and see if these are representing people, places, or things, or is it just anthropomorphized energies that we need to play out in our life, whatever, right? So, my thing is that when you're dealing with ancient knowledge, when you're dealing with secrets of the spirit intuition, I would wonder why wouldn't that come before the magician? Because, well, I guess you can have the ability to manifest before you know how to manifest, right? But the way I see it is that you get the knowledge first and then you try it, because you can't try something you're not aware of, if that makes sense. But anyways, I really love the fact that the high priestess is here, because the high priestesses tell me that this weekend, and it's funny, I got this blue candle right here, right? But the high priestess is telling me that our third eye work is going to be very important this weekend. Being able to foresee things, or being able to project what you want. Um, what else was that? What else was I getting? Being able to project what you want, and then moving forward with the magician card is saying that after we foresee the things that we want, now we gotta actually go through the rites and rituals, aka go through whatever we gotta go through to bring these things to fruition. And then I think that the Seven of Wands is here to remind us that, or to indicate that the path that we might be setting forth on right now might have, I won't say, uh, I won't say anything impeding. What I will say is that maybe it can have something, distractions maybe, or things to do, side missions, something like that. But what I feel as though is that we need to turn our attention inward right now and focus on the game plan and executing the game plan of prosperity. It doesn't necessarily have to do with money, but it could indicate that there is something that is going to require our attention. All right. So I'm going to get best course of action uh, to see how we can direct this energy that I'm seeing here on the cards, and then we can get to individual readings. I see I got 2 likes, 4 people in the chat. All right, here we go. Okay, so we got the Nine of Wands and the Death card. All right, so right back to the Wands, and then we got the Death card here. So best course of action for this weekend, starting off with the Nine of Wands. Remember, in general, the Nine of Wands represents um fulfillment and the wants. And the symbolism of the card represents being able to persevere and stick it out. Pause. And stick and overcome, right? Prosperity is the word that I used earlier. So being able to prosper. Secondly, the death card in general represents how can I say this so where it don't sound spooky? Um the death card in general Being the Scorpio card represents the cycle of life and death. It just represents, in general, that's what it represents. So because we're looking for best course of action, what I believe these cards is letting us know is that as we persevere, right, with the Seven of Wands, as we gear up to defend ourselves and as we push forward, there's going to be a certain level of one patience that's going to be required. Uh, and I feel like perseverance is cliche, but it's so true. So patience, perseverance, and lastly, how can I describe this? Discipline. I think that's the best way to describe it. The reason why I say discipline is because the death card, remember, represents change, ending of a cycle, uh endings, but also new beginnings as well, right? But in general, it represents change. Whether change is happening, whether you need to induce change or whatever, the death card represents change. And so I want us to ask ourselves, is there anything that I've been putting off recently? Right? Maybe I might have stalker tendencies, or maybe I might have killer tendencies, or maybe I might have sexual deviant tendencies, or maybe I tend to argue, right? Whatever your thing is, the person listening to me right now, uh, question yourself and ask yourself, am I being honest and truthful with the things that I need to get rid of in my life, right? And no matter how you justify your actions, what really matters is the fact that uh you know if something resonates with you or not, because you will feel things like guilt, you will feel things like shame, you'll feel things, you know what I'm saying? And when you're doing things and those are the end result, then that's an indication that something need to change. All right, so once again, before I get to the individuals, the nine of wands is telling me that we're gonna have to dig deep, that we're gonna have to find a level of patience, right? That we never ever 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 had. And the reason why is because we so close to the end of the tunnel that we can smell the light. However, we still got to get there, right? So we're not at the 10 of wands yet, right? But we damn close. And then in closing, the death card again is about discipline. It's about being able to push yourself, right? It's kind of like in the movie where you got to kill the dog in order to move on to the next level. But the thing is that you grew attachment to the dog. You understand what I'm saying? So when you're dealing with the death card, I always say illicit tower moments, right? Whether it's a person, whether it's a cigarette, no matter what it is, if there's something that needs to be taken care of, getting rid of, whatever, and it's going to make you a better person, then let's not keep putting it off. Let's go ahead and do it. All right. So with that being said, I will go ahead and conclude today's collective reading. If you guys would like a free or donation based reading, only thing you got to do is give me an I am affirmation or type supersede into the chat. Thank everybody for showing up. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I see we got 7 people, 3 likes. Can we get to 10 likes, please, guys? 56 views, 7 likes. Actually, not that bad. Raku, Raku, Raku. Raku, Raku, Raku. Raku, Raku, Raku. I'm too tired. All right, y'all. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm tired, man. Peace, love, health, and wealth. Anything else, put it back on the shelf. Why? Because I ain't buying it, and you better not.